Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Hope your day is going great as mine is. Even after calling fire down from heaven, Elijah wanted to die. How can someone so powerful feel so low? The last time I was here, I shared the showdown on Mount Carmel. That was 1 Kings 18, where Elijah boldly confronts the prophets of Baal, proving that God alone is the one and true living God. The showdown was over, but Jezebel's pursuit to kill Elijah hasn't. So let's see what happened here. Elijah is still running for his life. Elijah flees to Horeb. We are reading from 1 Kings chapter 19 today. Now, Ahab told Jezebel everything Elijah had done and how he had killed all the prophets with a sword. So Jezebel sent a messenger to Elijah. May the gods deal with me, be it ever so severely, if by this time tomorrow I do not make your life like that of one of them. She was a very, very wicked woman. Elijah was afraid and ran for his life. When he came to Beersheba in Judah, he left his servant there, while he himself went a day's journey into the desert. He came to a broom tree, sat down under it, and prayed that he might die. Imagine being chased all over the place and you're running for your dear life and you have nowhere to turn. Then Elijah told God, I have had enough, Lord, he said. Take my life. I am no better than any ancestors. Then he lay down under the tree and fell asleep. All at once, an angel touched him and said, Get up and eat. He looked around, and there by his head was a cake of bread baked over hot coals and a jar of water. He ate and drank and then lay down again. The angel of the Lord came back a second time and touched him and said, Get up, for the journey is too much for you. So he got up and ate and drank. Strengthened by that food, he traveled 40 days and 40 nights until he reached Horeb, the mountain of God. There he went into a cave and spent the night. Then God appeared to Elijah again. And the word of the Lord came to him. What are you doing here, Elijah? He replied, I have been very zealous for the Lord Almighty. The Israelites have rejected your covenant, broken down your altars, and put your prophets to death by the sword. I am the only one left, and now they are trying to kill me. The Lord told him, Go out and stand on the mountain in the presence of the Lord, for the Lord is about to pass by. Then a great and powerful wind tore the mountains apart and shattered the rocks before the Lord, but the Lord was not in the wind. After the wind, there was an earthquake, but the Lord was not in the earthquake. After the earthquake came a fire, but the Lord was not in the fire. And after the fire came a gentle whisper. When Elijah heard it, he pulled his cloak over his face and went out and stood at the mouth of the cave. This is where I'm going to end today's reading. So, in summary, we see where Elijah is running for his dear life because Queen Jezebel, the very wicked woman, when you hear someone use the term Jezebel spirit, that's where it comes from. In the Bible, she was known to be a very wicked queen, a narcissist, a manipulator, because she did all she can to manipulate her husband to do whatever she wanted. And Ahab was more like the queen, and she was the king. So Elijah was running for his dear life after all the prophets have been killed. You can imagine after victory, then he became a victim. So now he now got so tired, he wanted to kill himself, he wanted to die. And then he was seeking God, and God told him to hide. God showed him where to flee to. And from there, God spoke to him. And God was not all in the loudest noises. He was not in the wind. He was not in the earthquake. He was not in the fire either. But God came as a whisper. So sometimes we're expecting God to come, to show up in a magnificent way. That was what the lesson I learned here. That sometimes God comes in a whisper. And when you hear that whisper, obey it. Amen. So as always, I have 2 key lessons here. The first key lesson, God meets you in your lowest moments. Yes. When you're in your lowest of lows, God will meet you like he did with Elijah. Elijah didn't know what to do. He was so afraid of his life, his dear life. And God showed up in his life. Okay, even when Elijah was exhausted, afraid, and ready to give up, God didn't abandon him. He cared for him. So your weakness doesn't disqualify you. It invites God's presence. So whenever you think you're weak, you're tired, you're exhausted about life or whatever you're going through, seek God. Seek God. And God will show up like he did for Elijah. The second key lesson is God is not always in the loud. He speaks in the quiet. Yeah. God is not always in the loud. He speaks in the quiet. That's why it's good to spend time with God in the secret place. You find a quiet place to always seek God. It could be anywhere in your home. It could be in your closet. That's where I spend my time with God. And lately, I've been waking up 3 a.m. where the whole world is asleep. You can even hear a needle when it drops. And I always feel so special that it's just God and I at that particular time. And I know that that's where he hears you, and that's where you also can hear him. The most quiet time. Okay? God wasn't in the wind. He wasn't in the earthquake. He wasn't in the fire. But in a still small voice. So don't miss God because you're only looking for dramatic moves. You're looking for him coming up in a dramatic way. I've experienced that. Oh, maybe he's going to show up here, or maybe he's going to show up here, or maybe he's going to show up like this, in my wild imagination. But when he shows up, he's always in a whisper. He's always when the world is loud and you go find yourself in a quiet, subtle place. That is where you hear his voice. So next time, or whenever you feel low, you feel down, you feel the world is coming at you, find a subtle and quiet place and talk to God. You will find him there. So with that, I'm going to end today's time with God. See you next time. Take care for now and God bless. Bye.